All right, you are watching the mid-season point of Ancient Action Figures Live. Thus, tonight it is Hot Toys Live. And let me tell you something, baby. We have a hot one for you. We're going to be talking about so many of the drops from Hot Toys that have just been crazy. How about RoboCop 2? How about all of that heat? How about another Joker from that Artisan head sculpt? It's getting a little bit crazy. We're going to dive into that. What about that new Iron Man? What about stuff that we're going to be, just totally spilling all our coffee on? Listen, right now, we are going to go ahead and replay for you the premiere of Ancient Action Figures Episode 1 from this season. And then we'll be doing that over the next several weeks until the second half begins. Before further ado, and getting into it, let's play that from Season 1, the premiere, Season 2, and then we'll get into this episode, baby. We'll keep it on brewing.
Hong Kong, a special administrative region of China, is rich in ancient history, and now riddled with new history, mired in mysterious disappearances of people and precious artifacts.
Hong Kong is not only riddled with ancient mysteries from the past, but is a mecca of otherworldly phenomena. Today, what's interesting about all this is some ancient action figure theorists believe that some of these artifacts are in-art and Hot Toys action figures just like this. Some ancient holy texts show these artifacts to be precious.
In Hong Kong, there's a secret base right now, and that facility seems to be attracting these extraterrestrials to our planet.
Is the attraction part of some sacred connection? Does this connection link to a Q system? Are these artifacts so lifelike, these head sculpts so real, that they're actually watching us?
Some do believe they are watching us, like the numbered skulls of old.
The questions surrounding these related mysteries remain unsolved, but will the future soon reveal the truths behind extraterrestrials, their intentions, and their desire for these artifacts? So you do have to ask yourself, are these otherworldly beings keeping track of us by using in-art and Hot Toys action figures as bugs in our collection room? And is this the debut episode of Ancient Action Figures Season 2? And I say, let's go ahead and dive into all of this right now.
And it is the mid-season point of Ancient Action Figures Season 2. And you do have to wonder, Lane, is all of this, all of these ancient action figures linked to a queue system? I think we have some queues that are going to be going on this coming week. I think it's Tuesday and Wednesday, Lane. We got a lot to talk about with that. We're going to be speaking about all this heat. Look, it's only July, and I feel like it's Christmas in July, or it's hotter than July. And you got the Steelers hat on. That's also a side to come.
My Steelers will be cooking now, but unfortunately, by probably second week in October, they're going to be busy being frosty cold, as they'll be like 2-3, 2-4. But I have to say, second brother, that is the best shirt I have seen this entire summer. I love that shirt you are wearing today.
Man, this shirt is about 20 years old.
Well, half the shirts I own are about that old too, so it sounds about right on brand.
There it is, baby. Look at that.
You gotta love walking.
And the room's looking good too, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, his, just opening up some stuff. I had one casualty with the flood. If you see, I opened up the Batman with the Bat Cycle, but that thing when I got down here was submerged in water, so I was hoping the plastic inside of it would have saved the art box, which it didn't. But the figure and the cycle turned out okay. So,
Is that the one up behind you there? The Flash.
Mm-hmm.
I saw because I have the Flash. I have had sitting like for going on 8 months now, almost the Flash motorcycle. But I've been waiting for the Batman 2.0 because that will actually be going.
Well, listen, there's the hat. There's the Steelers hat. There's the black and gold. And what is the record going to be at the end of October, Lane?
Probably like 2 and 3, 2 and 4.
No, I
That's not happening. That's not gonna happen.
Oh God, this is.
You walked right into it, baby. You walked right into it. It's not going to happen.
So if anybody was wondering if there was a truly sinister side to everybody smiling Aries Tarrington, the 6 scale Cantina, just to be, I can say yes, that is fact, is now confirmed because there is definitely a sinister side.
Well, and there is definitely going to be some cues to be entering into this particular week coming up. I get a funny feeling, guys. These two are not going to be the last in 2025. It's kind of funny, Eamon. I remember going back with the first Artisan release, the first two. It was actually the DX34 Anakin, and it was the DX33 Joker. And I think you and I were talking about, this is going back when it was 6 scale Raw. And we were like, if they do 4 of these a year, that'll be good. They're doing like 4 of them a month, baby, it seems like. There are so many of these. Right. And you know what else that they're doing? Eamon, they're doing the same character because they have the R&D already.
Right. And eventually, is this, to me, with Artisans now, it's almost turned to almost just a regular figure now. It's like, only thing that really got me excited was the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine. That got me excited because I love that series. Not that many people's familiar with it. The ones who are, like, hey, that right there was on point. So, some of the other figures kind of like, we were talking about getting with the hair type of thing. I just saw the NR Smooth Criminal Michael that got me like, oh wow, that is the
one, man. Like if I'm gonna get a Michael Jackson, that will be the one that I would. That or I admit in the Thriller, like the Thriller jacket and stuff, red jacket. If they do that one, that might get me.
It's smoking hot. I tell you what's getting me within art is the freaking Lord of the Rings. Now, of course, I'm getting the Legolas one, which looks super good. It's going to go great with Aragorn, and Gandalf still looks like it's the king there. But I'll tell you, I think there's a new king within art with the Lord of the Rings because that Thorin Oakenshield, holy crap, and then you have the magnetic eyes that you could just use that little freaking toothpick with to move it back and forth. I just can't wait. That's what really sold me on those.
In his outfit too, with having like kind of the animal hide stuff and everything. Like now that might make him take a little extra while to get done just because of the outfit and stuff. My only thing.
Well, they said first quarter, right, Lane? Next year, first quarter.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, but for him, you might have to put half the outfit on. That's only. Is why isn't all the stuff on the figure coming out of the box? But I mean, to me, that's like yes, sometimes belts or stuff can be a pain in the butt, but that's like to me a minor quibble. If you take the time, if you're going to spend $500 on one of their figures, you should be able to not find it that much to spend 20 minutes just taking your time and putting the outfit on them.
I mean, I have that Thorin to me It looks like maybe it could be the best figure ever. And I know it is just so freaking good. Did you get a load of that, Eamon? What they're doing with that in art with that Thorin figure?
What I saw from him is excellent, but I know I'm a completionist, so I try to avoid that line with the plague because once you go down that rabbit hole, you just can't stop. So the ones I've seen has been amazing. The Gandalf that I saw was like, oh wow. So when they
The
bring
Gandalf is killer.
right, and I think that one set the standard for all the for the figures with the hair. That set the standard right there. So I haven't seen anything as of yet to top that.
Look at that though. Look at that though, dude. Dude. Yeah. I feel like that could. I because usually like all
but you got to think about it with the Gandalf though is the beard, man. Is the beard right along with it?
Yeah. Is this you know what? Because you said beard. I'm wondering if it's actually real hair or if it's sculpted.
I think it's probably sculpted because that's normally what they've done. Like even because even like I know X06, like their Commander Cruz, the Christopher Lloyd Klingon, he had hair that was implanted, but his little goatee thing was just sculpted. And I think trying to do a goatee now, I think maybe it's easier with some ways easier with a longer beard than a small short one, like say Obi-Wan Kenobi's little goatee or something that he had like in say in episode 3. But I have to say for in art, I think for the sculpts themselves, at least going to prototype, there was some people, maybe there was a little degradation because I still think the Aragorn proto may be the best head sculpt we've ever, looking just like the actor got shrunk down. But I think the only item I've seen that I think for the head sculpt like came looking almost like it looks like the actor is staring back at you as the character was like that Saruman life-size bust that just came out because that looked like Christopher Lee is coming to take your soul.
Oh man,
that's the only thing I can think of in any scale or otherwise. That is he's kind of.
I feel like Asmus is getting better, right? But with InArt doing stuff like this, though, when you talk about like you said Saruman and Christopher Lee, when they get to like doing those figures, hopefully, they do like. Because I look at this and I'm just blown away, Lane and Eamon with it. I'm blown away with the Gandalf. I got the Gandalf in front of me, and a lot of people, Eamon complained about not complained, but said the Aragorn was a little soft. It wasn't as good as the prototype. Mm-hmm. I don't know. When I look at it, I have to fuss with the hair a little bit, right. But it looks just like Vigo to me. But I to me, it's almost like when you get some of these figures, if the arm's out of place or if the waist looks a little weird, you just have to articulate it a little bit. I really feel, Abe, I don't know what you feel about this. Sometimes with this hair, sometimes you got to articulate it, just like an arm or some clothing to get it the way you want it, to be honest with you. That's what I'm finding anyway, because I think the Aragorn is spot on.
Right. Yeah, it's just like, when you're dealing with this hair thing is kind of a mixed bag because all my artists, I checked them out, make sure the sculpts were straight, but I haven't displayed them yet because those are not going to get placed with regular figures. There's going to be, particular care is going to be done with those. So, dealing with that hair, and all of us are kind of like guinea pigs for this right now because none of those figures have proven time yet. So all of us would see with, certain hair products, you can't keep putting hair products on that so many times before you just have a greasy gunk of mess in your hands. So yeah, but overall, man, when I turn and see what they done here, what they have done with all of them is just amazing work, and it pushes the envelope. and make companies like Hot Toys like print them out, try to
From
print
the
those
bat.
money.
Yeah, I mean they make companies like Hot Toys really come out, to play. So and quiet the playing field, kind of like the Steelers are going to do, Lane.
Think you told the critics tonight?
Sorry, no.
Dude, you're hoarding the hat. You're going to be walking all into this tonight.
I know. I just.
Well, let's go ahead and say hi here to.
We're in the first week of camps, just checking in.
Well, at least I'm not playing the Last Jedi trailer for you yet.
Oh, and you'll finish off that in 1 minute before we're going to. Hey, remember Thursday, my friends. Just remember, boop. There we go. Stay thirsty, everyone, and then we'll close out. I know your trickiness sometimes, Aries, with that.
Well, we're all getting filled up over here, just like this.
But it is interesting because Shoji C, he commented a little bit earlier. He got in the Bale Batman, the 1/12 scale, and that figures detail and everything, and that size and everything is supposed to be good. I actually have it. I got it just last week, I think. I haven't opened it yet, but in art is really much more than even Queen and statues right now. I think it seems like they're putting all their eggs into 1/6 scale, but I think some companies like InArt and how well they've been doing is now what's helping to expand, where it's not just the Hot Toy show for some of this, because it's SDCC this weekend. There's some new companies trying to get in 6 scale, like Dream Factory, which has done prop replicas. That's been more their forte. But they showed off at Rick O'Connell the Mummy, Quint, and I forget, not the Chief Roy Scheider, but what was William Dreyfus's character's name? I'm not remembering it off the top of my head right now. But they're doing figures of them. And the thing that caught my attention is they showed Edward James Olmos as Adama from the 2008 Battlestar and Starbuck and.
Oh, wait! What's this? What's this company again?
Dream Factory.
Factory One, I think. What they call?
Yeah,
and they're showing it Edward James Olmos Adama.
They need a little work on that sculpt. They need a little.
Yeah,
work.
The sculpts don't look great yet. They definitely need some work.
The Starbuck one looks good. The Starbuck one looks good. They got that down a little bit. Apollo, they need to work on a little bit. They need to work on the paint application and softening the head sculpt, because right now it looks like something out of Madame Tussauds if you turn around.
Well, still just
need work. They still need work. But I'm saying, you got that license doing some different. They teased. They're going to show in 2026 Knight Rider and Airwolf. I am all in on a Stringfellow Hawk. Or I don't think there's any chance they would do this, but could that possibly lead to some point down the road? Could that lead us to a 1/6 scale kit? That would almost be the ultimate vehicle.
Well, now that you got this whole Sophie line with Galactus, anything's possible.
Heck, someone showed they're doing a $6 million man figure from the 70s.
Wow. That is absolutely freaking crazy.
I think it's pushing just art, a scale a lot of us like to collect, where I'm not expecting them to be in art or Hot Toys or something, but giving us maybe even some more way out there licenses we never would have in a billion years thought we would maybe see something of down the road.
Well, I never actually no, go ahead, Eamon.
Well, if you have one company that's out there that decided to just quietly scoop up all the late 70s and early 80s licenses, I think they'd be sitting on the cash cow there. Especially, some of those guys in this style. I was excited to see see the Galactica, see the Colonial Warriors there in a prop helmet. I was excited for that. Even the condition that the figures are in now in its raw form, I was still buying them because I'm a Galactica fan like that. So, it's good to see other companies. It's just like they jumping on, other IPs, but just some collectors like us, we just like, oh shit, space is not infinite. So I'm like, damn.
Now, what's the name of the company again, Eamon?
I think it was Factory One. Let me look to be absolutely sure.
Factory One, Battlestar Galactica. Wow, I tell you what, I'm just spilling my coffee because how long have I been saying I'd love to be able to get some really good 6 scale figures?
Well, that's not the first time they did 6 scale of them.
Really?
There's a company that have done 6 scale, first gen Galactica figures. First time I've seen them, I was in a comic store called the Silver Snail in Toronto. And that's before I got into 1/6. And I saw them. And my mission when I went up there last year was like, if I see those figures there, I'm going to get them. No matter, they look like the Kenner 1/6 that they came out, the Power of the Force line. They look like those.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm just saying though, the new one, I love the new one, the new Battlestar, the reimagined one, just as much as the original. But I'll be honest with you guys, I'll be very happy as well if somebody can go ahead and make these characters, Mr. Raymond.
Oh yeah, they did the whole line. I'm telling you, I'm in. I am in.
Oh man, I would just lose it. I don't know. I don't know how much of a market there would be for this, but man, I know I would buy them. You would buy them.
They also do like replicas of I know that they were showing like as part of their booth like replicas of the Shrike and the whatever the Federation ship Picard was on Picard season 3. They did replicas of both of those ships. I wouldn't put it past them. Could you imagine if they did kind of a mini replica of the miniatures for like the Big Viper, or not the Big Viper, that's from Gradius, but the Viper, like
Viper,
colonial starfighter.
We're gonna fracking Falca carb this whole damn show. Some of you know what the hell I'm talking about here. Come on,
this Factory Entertainment is a company.
Yeah,
Factory Entertainment.
Factory Entertainment. They specialize in props. They do a lot of movie props.
Well, listen,
a Cylon helmet and also like a colonial Viper, helmet and stuff that they would wear like full size.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if anyone from Factory Entertainment that's part of the company is watching, make me spill my coffee, baby.
Yeah. Well, Hot Toys is doing that enough. I mean, they threw out so much stuff that isn't even all up for pre-order yet. In the last week.
Well, I hope they don't shoot themselves in the foot with the Fantastic Four line by putting all the other figures on pre-order instead of Johnny Storm. That's going to be
well. You know what? We're going to say hi to everybody in here, but with that, Eamon, we got to start talking about some of those figures, and that means we got to go ahead and start the show off. Let's talk about the Fantastic Four. Let's talk about what Eamon just said there. Let's get into the James Bond blogger photos. Let's get into the Joker. Let's get into this. Let's get into all of it, baby. Right now. Hey, baby. And all right. Welcome to Hot Toys Live here during the mid-season break of Ancient Action Figures. What's going on? We have got Legend Lane in the house adorning the Steelers, black and gold. Let's go, baby. We have got the second brother in the cantina this week as well. And we've got a whole lot of Hot Toys stuff to go ahead and talk about here. But before we do, everybody in the chat, let me know what the heck table you're on, and I'll fill you up because I've got Wizard Juice. I've got Spotchka. I've got all kinds of the coffee here, baby. Let me know what table you're at, and let me see who the heck is in here. And let's say hi to Shaj. What's going on? How about a freaking original Galactica ship, for crying out loud? Good to have you in here. Mitch Lawrence is in here as well. So is Ricardo. What is going on, baby? And the big dog pound on a 1 and a 2 and a 3. Woo! Always good to have the big dog pound in the house for sure. What's going on, baby? And Caleb is in here. What's up, Caleb? What's going on? And he's saying what's up at woo too. That was a little bit better. Trying to get the Dreyfus was Hooper Lane, just so you know, here from Shaj putting that in. Ricardo says there's so much going on right now, so many companies, so many intellectual properties. It's mind-blowing. My wallet is sweating. My wallet's done, baby. It's I have to rethink everything that I do, honestly. It's absolutely crazy. Caleb is in the house. What is going on, my friend? And MB Dyson in here with another woo. What is going on, MB Dyson? Good to have you in here. And George. What's up, George? Steelers in the Super Bowl. Well, he's sitting at table number 1. Come on. You got to be real quiet about
You told the critics tonight.
Come on. Come on.
If everybody's telling him to be quiet by week 7 or week 8.
Darth Chopper in the house. What is going on? Come on. Preston's in here. What's up, Preston? Always good to have you at the 6 Scale Cantina, or for sure. And well, Jagrod, that's you. Jonathan O'Kane, hello to you, baby, as well. And look who's here. The OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars. And look, baby, we've got to fill him up. We've got to fill him up with Lane's favorite show of all time. Not movie, but television series of all time.
I'm Boba Fett. I'm here to see the mayor.
Boba Fett. Do you have an appointment?
And if I missed you, you don't need an appointment. Keep going ahead and putting down whatever you want to put down into the chat, baby. And I will get you up over here with your comments for sure. And thank you very much. So I think we need to go ahead and start getting into some of the stuff here that we need to get into. And first up on the docket, Lane, we got another Joker.
I'm shocked.
And you know what's are you
all those Nicholson Jokers we've gotten over the years? It's one of those, right?
You know, but I think that, you know, as I'm pulling the image up, we could start talking about it. I heard a lot from collectors that there's probably no way that, you know, because they gave us the Batman imposter version that they would give us another one. And I was like, I think you're going to get a couple at least of this Heath Ledger Joker because of how successful it was. If they could keep selling it. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, Lane. This bank robber Joker is miles above the Batman imposter version in my view.
Oh, okay? Yeah.
Miles above. And yet you got that Batman imposter version, which is limited to 3,000. Do you know that that's going up now over $600. People are buying that freaking thing. Just goes to show you. And I go ahead and I'll pull this up here on the screen, but I mean the bank robber version of this figure. Let me not set it up. Let me just get your thoughts. What do you think of the bank robber version? You like it? You don't like it? Go.
Oh, I think it's good. Like, I think the figure looks really good, and I have to say, I think the sculpted version with the hair is like way improved, even over the Artisan and the sculpted DXs that we got. You know, people just got within the last 8 to 10 months. I think that I don't think necessarily like for this the Artisan version is like super improved over the previous Artisan version of it. But obviously,
I don't even know how you can improve over that because it was
it was pretty much almost as like for almost as perfect as I think now. Maybe J&D's Kojin one. I mean, I think we're like literally splitting hairs about some of these figures for the likenesses now. For saying one's way better than the other or something.
Well, especially when you're saying way better, because it's not.
Yeah,
we're not comparing like Sideshow premium format from 15 years ago.
There is a thing where yes, you're having to get to the. I mean, at this point, we're at the nitpicky things for here or there with some of the look or from an angle or something. So that is a great thing about we've got to that, but also make it where you get picky at each other about stuff. I think this is a very good release. Now, do I completely understand where people are Ledger Jokered out? I think we've literally gotten Ledger Joker in every size, scale, and format that you can possibly get them.
Well, no, let me stop you there. And I'm not saying I disagree with you, but let me stop you there. Are we more Jokered out or more Iron Man'd out with Robert Downey Jr.?
I think both.
Stop there. Are we more Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man'd out, Heath Ledger Jokered out, or Christian Bale Batman'd out?
I think we're a lot of all three of them. That doesn't mean people.
There you go.
No, but I mean, it's just that I think that this outfit's really good. At least it's very it's one of the best scenes with him in Dark Knight. But isn't this like the third incarnation of him with this look? Or is this the second incarnation?
No, this is the third, because actually you got to remember the Batman Apostate. I had both of those. You're talking about from this R&D?
I just mean in general for doing the bank robber joke. Isn't this
the bank?
This lit?
No.
If anybody in chat, we have his been thing. I know. I mean, I know it's the second time, but I think this might be the third time. But I'm not too sure. I wasn't collecting, back in between 2009.
It's still the whole movie.
Yeah,
is iconic, right? The whole movie is the whole trilogy is.
I think this figure comes with enough scene specific stuff with it. If you've gone through some of the pictures for like some of the background stuff and everything that comes with it. I mean, obviously, they're probably reusing a lot of the gun accessories and stuff that they've already used before from the DX. Like, this is Hot Toys, so we know we're going to do that. My concern is, what is the price point? Is this guy going to be as expensive as Robo Kane? Because Robo Kane, which we'll probably talk about later, is $525 in the U.S. off, Sideshow. Well, because the DXs were $510 for the Artisan was $510. And I think it was like $375, $365. It was very expensive stuff.
Well, they're labeling this a DX, so it's probably going to be comparable, I would think, Lane.
So it's going to probably be like $525. It'll be more, just with time that we've had. But I think it's a great figure. If you have one of the DXs, whether it's like I have the sculpted one, that's the one I went for because I wasn't willing to spend $500 on the Artisan version. I think that if you have either one of those, I don't think this guy is necessary, except if you really, really like that scene with him. I don't think this is iconic. I think that's the purple jacket with the grenades and all that. But if you say you weren't able to get your hands on the Artisan or something, I think there's zero reason why you should not be. I'm assuming.
Well, now you bring up a couple of points. You're bringing up a bunch of points here. Let me go to you, Eamon, because you did really good there with bringing up a couple of points all in one there with your last few sentences. So people they don't have to. If this wasn't Eamon, this bank robber edition, the real iconic outfit from him from this film. It doesn't matter with these characters anymore because they're not putting out numbers like they used to pre-COVID and during COVID. They're putting out these Mickey Mouse numbers. I did some math on this, Eamon. The first Joker with this R&D, okay, was 4,000 pieces with the Artisan here. The Imposter one was 3,000 pieces. 3,000 plus 4,000 is 7. Here's another 3,000. There's your 10,000. They used to like having a minimum of 10,000. They already have 10,000 of this that they figured out a way to do. But here's the thing. Lane brings up a great point. Not everybody's going to be interested in this version. Not everybody's going to want a Batman imposter version. But they don't need... Hot Toys doesn't need them to. Because they're putting out these rinky-dink numbers and they're piece feeding it to people. And I think until people stop buying it, they're going to keep making them.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, I know this one. I'm like, okay, is it a sculpted version of this?
Yes.
Yeah, there is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sculpted version.
Yeah. But jumping out there, we already, how can I say this? I bit the apple twice with the Joker, with the imposter version and the other version. I'm not going to bite the apple the third time. So, how much is like, okay, the bank robber Joker is iconic. The one that's iconic to me, besides that, is when he was dressed up as a nurse in blue.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. You're 100% right.
I'm like, okay, if you're going to do that, like I just, trying to get out of box watch over here, open up Miles Morales special edition. And that figure has so many versions. How many styles you want to do the figure? If you want him in a classic suit, if you want him in a hoodie, if you want him in a puffer coat, if you want him you had so many options with that figure, and I enjoyed the hell out of unboxing it today. And I'm sitting up there like, Hot Toys can do that with just one of these figures. If you're going to have it limited, fine, you're going to have it limited. But give people options instead of doing this. I'm going to feed you with a 10-foot spoon every other month and try to get you suckers to pay $500 every time we do this. And I keep saying that well is going to run dry. I already know. I'm not going to try for this just because it's an artist. And I'm not, because I feel that I feel that, okay, you're kind of wearing the artisan thing out. And you're missing out on other, opportunities instead of, I think everyone is trying to see I'm trying to put this in the PG term, who has the biggest Johnson and which one's going to reach to the bottom of the pool dealing with these head sculpts and that rooted hair.
You're on to something. Come on. Because
I don't, all of us love the figures. I know for me, I try to be lean. I know my average size show pages usually average between 4 to 5 pages. I got them down to 2, and that's where it's going to stay. Pretty much going to stay. But and just like, come on, give us something, out of something out of the box. They and I think with the Joker, they playing on emotions because we love Heath Ledger's character, what he did for the Joker so much, and we hold on to that memory. But now it's getting to the point like, okay, you're capitalizing on it, and it's not playing to our nostalgia anymore.
Well, and here's the thing, and you hit the nail on the freaking head. Now, for me, it's not like Darth Vader for me, or where I've got to have every single version. So I'm thinking about this one, but I'm probably gonna pass. But I think Hot Toys knows there's going to be some collectors that will pass. And I think here's the other side of the token. That first one's only 4,000 pieces of DX. They come out with the imposter version. It's not a DX, but it comes in very nice packaging. So you have 7,000 out there, Eamon, okay? And now they're like, you know what? And people that figure's starting to go up. Both figures are starting to go up. And I'm like, whoa. You know, they look at Justin's review. They see this review. They see that. They see it in the collection. Their mouth starts watering. But I feel like Hot Toys all along, they have a specific plan here. They're like, you know what? For all of you who missed out, here's another one. And until they stop biting, you know, they could continue to do it. For me and you, I'm with you. I don't need this. Now, there's going to be some Joker collectors, like Iron Man collectors, are like, I'm going to get every mark there is. I'm going to buy every dart, and I totally get it. Where me personally, I'm looking for the one, maybe two definitive Iron Mans, and I'll be fine. And I've had a couple of them. I sold them. I'm getting ready for some of the new ones. I'm buckling up for an Artisan one, but I don't need every Iron Man. But when they do,
I'm that guy.
But that nurse one, Eamon, just staying with you here real quick.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's the most iconic one besides of that film, besides the regular one, the DX they already did.
Right.
That version right there.
Totally
And I'm telling you right now, they're going to do that. Because they don't have to do a whole lot of them, Eamon.
Yeah.
That one I might bite the bullet on.
I mean, me too, but it's just like, okay. It's like even with the Iron Man, I'm just like got to the point. I was like, man, if I see another Iron Man figure now that Superior one, the comic version, that Superior one, I was like, okay, I may step out there and get that.
And it's going to for everything. So it's like the first one kind of like that too, where you can see actually how is that going to work.
Right.
But do you guys think, for you guys as collectors, and I would be in check. So, I mean, they're going to be able to sell 3,000 of these. Now, how many? How many are going to try and resell them afterwards? That's a whole different matter. But do you guys think? I'm just saying for example, not even necessarily 100% would you have bought it, but like say they had the same number of these Artisan 3,000, and if they had like, I don't know, we'll do from the Dark Knight trilogy. Say they had announced a Liam Neeson Ra's al Ghul, like Artisan version, where it was just that version, and it was going to be maybe similar pricing to the Ledger Joker. Would one like that character, being one we haven't had before, would that have had you excited at all?
My God! I mean,
trying to get
that. Yeah. And Lane, say it one more time. You said Ra's al Ghul?
Or Ra's al Ghul, however.
They call him the Wizard.
Can we please get Ra's al Ghul, whatever way you want to say it, Jalen Urso, Jagan Urso, whatever his name is. Could we please get a Ra's al Ghul, since we've gotten 8, 9, 10 Jokers already?
I just feel like for some of the newer stuff that they did for this, for their big showcase stuff released this year, because they did go in some places, but we would have not figured they would have gone. Like Ledger Joker, okay, I kind of get it. But you guys have just done one within the last 2 years. Now Liam Neeson would have to be signing off whatever on this. Maybe he's not willing to do that. But if he was able to me, that feels like we're for 3,000 Artisan ones of him, you would get enough people, because that would help fill out their villain line, especially because you got like.
Well, how many collectors? Have Christopher Nolan Batman figures, and Hot Toys comes out with a Ra's al Ghul, it's going to sell.
Yeah, I mean, like they just had the Scarecrow.
But you know what's the best part about this figure? Besides, obviously, it's a kick butt head sculpt, and Hot Toys knows it. But I'll be honest with you, this bank robber mask is pretty cool.
Yeah, where it's a separate thing.
I think some people will buy it just for that mask, which is crazy, and the outfit. But it's not. Eamon, going back to you, it's not bad when I'm looking at everything that it comes with for a DX, right? I mean, It's okay. It's got the wool hair. You got the mask. You got that cardboard. But actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know. Why is this a DX, Eamon?
You know, DX, dude. DX now is just a stamp now, because all the things that was original to DX, well, now they on standard figures. So only thing probably would make this DX is probably the diorama.
Where's the base though? Does anyone? What is he standing on here?
Like, okay,
like that makes it a DX. Okay, I see it. So this is the base. They're not really showing it. Let's see. Let me blow that up a little bit. Is the base pretty good? All right. So what do you think of this base, Eamon? It looks like the base with the original one. They just put some kind of. I wonder if it lights up.
Is it magnetic?
That would be cool. Does anyone know? I bet you it's a peg in. Because I'm seeing these pegs. Because when you have, do you have, do either of you have the Artisan DX Joker?
No.
Okay. So with the Artisan DX Joker on one of the feet, it actually has a peg. And you just shove it right in there on the base, and it stands up.
The non-Artisan had the same thing.
And I like it. I'm very curious to see how well the Captain America and honestly the Artisan Black Widow do with the magnetic compared to InArt. But I do feel like it's more secure to have the peg than at least with the Aragorn and Gandalf I have with the magnetic. They fall over. Especially the Gandalf quite a bit, which kind of sucks. They just got to make it a little bit stronger. But hey, you can't have everything. But this is pretty cool. But I don't. You try to tell me the mask lane makes this a DX.
Nothing anymore. I mean, with that Scarlet Witch, the one that just came out, that Artisan, does that make it a DX? I would probably say, yeah, it's got the base, but there's no. I mean,
does it come with this table?
I think so. I think it's from the shootout.
Okay, well then that isn't too bad.
This feels more like a DX than some of the other stuff. I mean, some of them felt more Artisan, and they don't help make this a little confusing because most of all the Artisans we had come out before now, even like Jack Sparrow or something, had been DXs, but like the Dark Empire Luke is not. It's an Artisan, but it's not. So like, okay,
How many people later are going to buy it just for this, though? This is a great shot. I think it is.
Yeah. No, it looks really cool. I like that the sculpted one comes with the second head sculpt, which is with the mask on. It's just already on the face and you switch out the head sculpts. I think that might be what this is too.
All right, so 3,000 pieces. What is this one? This one is going up. Let me see if I could go ahead and pull this up over here. This one is going up. Is it Tuesday or Wednesday? Let's pull it up on the screen and see.
I think Tuesday for this.
Tuesday, July 29th. Right here, it says that it's coming. At 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. So 3,000 pieces. I'm going to go to you first, Eamon. How long does this take to go? Remember, it took the Wolverine Apocalypse version 12 hours. Some figures it takes 30 minutes. So give me a time between 30 minutes and 12 hours.
About 3.
I like that number. 3. You say 3 hours. Wayne, what do you say?
You said 3,000? The number's 3,000?
3,000 pieces.
3,000 and they're doing it on a Tuesday? Yeah, it's probably about 3 hours.
Yeah. They're not instantaneous anymore like they used to be. I mean, Eamon, wasn't the because I didn't try for it, but that Age of Apocalypse Wolverine, wasn't that up for almost like half a day?
Yeah,
12 hours.
Yeah, it was. But then, the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine, that's kind of a niche thing right there.
If it had been that bright, it would have been gone in like 15 minutes.
Because that's a little niche thing because you have to know about the Age of Apocalypse storyline. That's a whole different thing with that. That's going to appeal certain collectors that are like diehard Wolverine and comic book readers. So I can understand why that took long, took so long. for it to before it got sold out. Now, if it was like Campbell Wolverine, that probably would have been like another probably about 45 minutes. That would have been
or the brown suit.
Yeah.
Brown suit.
Or the brown suit, right.
Yeah, that one, I think that one would be gone in like 15 to 20 minutes. Like everybody would pre-order that one.
Well, and here's the thing. George says, Curtis, I missed out on the Artisan Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 2. Been trying to get it. So this brings me to another point. So here's the thing. There was people saying I missed out on the DX Joker. I missed out on the Batman Imposter Joker. Well, guess what? If you're okay getting this bank robber version of the Joker, you suddenly have another chance. So you do have to ask yourself, is it possible if you ran out of this Obi-Wan, didn't get an opportunity to get it? And I told you a very interesting story about this, which I'll tell you again in a little bit. This Obi-Wan, 3,500 pieces, that you're probably going to get another Artisan Obi-Wan sooner than you think. And I say, yes. I mean, you're going to get it so freaking quick. Everything that they're spending all of this R&D on, it's going to come quicker than dropping it on General Kenobi.
You are a bold one.
And that's what's happening here. So when you look at this, don't fret. You know, I think that if this comes out looking like this, that it's going to be kind of on par with the Heath Ledger Joker, and people are going to go freaking bananas on this particular figure. But I brought this up last week, and Hot Toys knows this. Hot Toys knows this. People were wondering, Lane, left and right, could they do the short hair? Well, they're already doing it with Moon Knight. Could they do the short hair? Well, they're already doing it with Tom Holland. Can they do the short hair on Obi-Wan Kenobi? Well, they just did it here. This is the same damn hair he has in Revenge of the Sith. So I told this last week, but everybody in the chat, look at this. And I want you to take the mullet from the bottom of his ears, and I want you to remove it. I want you to remove it with your eyes. And when you look at the rest of the hair, the answer is yes. It looks just like the Revenge of the Sith, so they're going to do it. The mullet doesn't have any bear. I got any of the hair up front. And Lane, I think this is what we're in for, because that one comment says, I really didn't want to miss out on this. And I have a story of this one where I was going to heart surgery, going back when, which is 10 weeks ago. About 9 weeks ago with this figure. And I was able to secure it. This particular figure. But honestly, if people are worried if they missed out, just like the Joker Bank Robber edition, just like the Batman Imposter edition, Lane, you're probably, when you take the mullet off, the trends are pointing towards a lot of stuff like this, even before new figures, because it's appearing to me, Lane, that once they invest in the R&D, you may actually get doubles or triples or quadruple versions of those figures before you get new figures, going back to your point about Ra's al Ghul. So go ahead, go.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's always about 2. Plus, I think, at least for Sideshow, getting on the wait list, I mean, look how many people have been getting Anakins, where everybody's like, oh, there'll be no chance that we'll get any conversions on that episode 3 Anakin. And just, I know several people who got them this week. Always, you never know what's going to pop up if you enter on the wait list. Even it could be like 3 years later, and then something unexpectedly converts, and you're like, what? Where did this come from? But I think that, I mean, Obi-Wan Kenobi is one of their favorite characters too, and especially if they end up there's rumors going they're going to do Kenobi season 2. I don't know why they would do Kenobi season 2. I think that story kind of got told for what little there was, actually. Turning the movie into that.
Hey, now watch it, Lane. I liked it. I liked that one.
It was okay. It was
you could do a season 2 if you follow the comics.
Yeah.
There's a lot of room there.
And they could do it a little bit smaller scale where it's not tying into the Inquisitors, all that stuff. They could be doing.
I mean, the Inquisitors kind of in a way will always be there, but it is a battle. If anybody, Book of Boba Fett is his own thing. It's his own thing. I love it. Personally, I love it. But with Black Chrysanthemum, there's a scar across Black Chrysanthemum's eye that he got into a fight. That's a lightsaber scar from Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Mm-hmm.
So, they run into each other, during that period. So it's a lot of stuff that can be done and can be worked around where it's plausible and it makes sense, long as people let things evolve and don't review bomb stuff for no apparent reason. So that's why we're getting less and less of these things and just don't let a story evolve. But there's some room for Obi-Wan.
Well, it's funny too, Eamon, because I want to go to you with it because you see this version of Obi-Wan, you see the top of his head, right? And you see that hair here. That's right, a shot from the freaking movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you go to this artisan version, and you really look the way they did it, and just remove those bangs in your the mullet in your head on his neck,
right?
They got it set up to put it out. I mean, it's like, holy crap, they're going to do this.
You can see how it's layered. I get what you're saying.
yeah, exactly. You can see how it's layered and how they can do it. And I actually think, because one of the things that's been happening, Eamon, and we brought it up with Lane and the guests last week, is I'm going to use one figure as an example. I'm not going to use Iron Man. I'm not even going to use Darth Vader from Star Wars. And I'm not going to use Spider-Man, but I'm going to go ahead and use just the Emperor, kind of more of a different character. I'd use Star Wars. There's so many different versions of the Emperor, and all up at one point at the same time, and people were still buying those figures. So this is already on waitlist. Mm-hmm. So they could come out with it at the same time because that's what they've been doing. Remember the old comments, with going way back, Eamon, when it was like, oh, you got to wait 2 years, 3 years. Not with Hot Toys anymore. You may wait 2-3 weeks, which is what happened with all those versions of the Emperor. I mean, honestly, we're only waiting for the Rise of Skywalker one with Ian McDermott now. They've blown them all out.
Right.
So I think that this one, and here's the thing: I'm not saying they're going to do this, Eamon, but a lot of people are clamoring for a Leia, and we're going to get an artisan Leia, and a lot of people are really vying for a Padme artisan, and we're going to get her, and they're even vying for a Han Solo artisan. But I tell you what, before we get them, they've already got experience in R&D with the rooted hair. With Ewan McGregor and Mark Hamill, you may get a couple of Mark Hamills and Ewan McGregors before you get any of them, unfortunately.
But is it really necessary?
Well, that is the point. Talk to me, baby. Is it?
Is it really necessary? Because Leia is an artisan? Yes. Leia's an artisan, yes. Han is an artisan. That's a little crapshoot there. They already have done Luke. So compared on the Star Wars line, and then too, if you're really trying to show off the you're doing this how can I say this hair thing that they're doing. I'm not going to get into the thing of rooted and all that stuff. I'm not going to get into that. I think I kind of rubbed some people the wrong way with that a couple of times. But dealing with Leia, if they did an indoor edition, that'd be amazing right there. It'd be a little strange, but it would definitely show up what they can do with this hair thing. For Padme, wow. enough. We've been dying for a first gen Padme, a Queen Amidala. Besides that third party one that that came out that gave us hope that okay, Hot Toys, tackle it, jump on this. So it's hard to guess. It's hard to guess because Hot Toys did things that we expect to do. I know I've been on your show and I turned around and said some things like, if you're gonna impress me, do this, impress me, do that, and damn sure they did it. So
and they put us in a poorhouse.
right. Because I damn sure said like if they're gonna do something, do that Dark Forces loop, and damn sure they did. And then the Chewie with 3PO on his back, they did that. So
it's almost like David that Howard, when you were saying all that, we were saying all that he was listening.
Right. It's basically like, you know what? I'm going to say, since you said it, I'm going to see if you buy it. I'm going to do it. And he just, got his little minions to work, and then they come out with that, and then here I am, a sucker going through the queue and running to get it, because that whole Dark Forces thing, when they came out with that, they hit a special, they kind of hit a little special place in my heart, because I used to do, which I still do a lot of road traveling. And that audiobook saved me from plenty times from falling asleep behind the wheel. Good audiobook is real.
No, I totally get it. My wife and I both. I totally get it. With those audiobooks, and you can see right here, everybody. This is the banner of the current episode you're watching. You are watching Hot Toys Live with the Dark Jedi during the mid-season break of Ancient Action Figures. We were happy to be able to play for you once again the premiere episode 1 of season 2 a little earlier in the show when we opened up. But yeah, you can look at this banner, and it says Joker's Wild. More variants coming, and it's very, very interesting. You have so many characters. We're just talking about Obi-Wan. And I really believe that Obi-Wan is a huge candidate, especially for the Clone Wars, and especially for the Revenge of the Sith. Once they could actually do the Clone Wars before the Revenge of the Sith. We got a couple of Clone Wars ones up there. But, let's get into one that really goes for a lot of money. And everybody really talks about, hey, I want that Wonder Woman. I want that Artisan Wonder Woman. And, Hot Toys isn't stupid. They see that she goes for about $1,500. And this one right here, and it is a freaking gorgeous figure. But look at this like you look at the first Heath Ledger. And this was kind of lame. People just went into a queue. It was gone. People go try to find this figure and buy it now. But I just want to tell people, there's a bank robber version of the Joker that they can get now. Is it possible that they don't have to spend $1,500 on this lane? Because Howard is going to give us a bank robber version, no pun intended, of Wonder Woman, a 1984 version, this version, that version, whatever version. This is the kind of stuff that they're doing. So I think when people miss out on these, they shouldn't lose all hope unless it's an obscure character. They put in a lot of work into this figure. So,
okay,
like Eamon said a couple weeks ago, I think this is already in the works.
I'm gonna make a prediction. Okay. I'll make a prediction.
Do it.
And I'm going to say it, and usually when I say it, it comes to pass. If they're going to shut down the internet and bust that whole queue system wide open, do a Linda Carter Artisan version.
Yeah. Oh, man.
The Wizard.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Gave you something to think about.
We already, InArt has already confirmed they're working on the Gal Gadot, so you're going to have another option to not spend.
You're going to have that too. Well, InArt did a Joker too, so I mean, there's going to be.
So, or you may have if you want to spend $1,500. I'm sure Kojin might do one eventually, so you can spend that much on one of their versions. That's, you get to wait 2 years for.
Well, the thing is that the thing is, Lane. Oh, we got to talk more about Linda Carter here. So but anyway, look, they already got the R&D invested in this. This was a test. They passed the test. Everybody wants this figure. So can they do now an official Artisan one? Because, Lane, to your point, which you say to me quite a bit, it's not technically an Artisan, but it really is their first wool-rooted hair implantation technology. So now they do one.
The technicalities.
The technicalities. So if they go ahead and they do it now, they may do this tonight. You may wake up tomorrow morning and see 1984 Gal Gadot Artisan DX Wonder Woman rolling eyes function, limited to 2,500 pieces.
I disagree. I think
with the bank robber mask. or you may wake up tomorrow and get Spaceballs, what you're looking for. Get Pizza Hut.
You're delicious. Ciao, boys.
Hey, I'll take a Dark Helmet Artisan figure.
I told you last week that I would. But this is the kind of stuff I want to bring to people's attention. Is the fact that, I'm so bad I missed out. Don't worry about it. You will get another opportunity because Hot Toys will give you another opportunity because Hot Toys Lane has done this. And before this, they did whatever this is, which actually really is a good figure, cool figure. I mean, and of course they gave you what was supposed to be the big enchilada. This. So when you talk about Gal Gadot and you talk about these figures going for that one, now this one will always be, super exclusive. And it's a Warner Brothers 100, but they could just go on out Lane and just start giving you, when you look at some of these pictures that I put up and you look at that Artisan one, it's uncanny how good that technically not Artisan one is. But geez, I mean, they know they got a moneymaker here. They really do, Lane.
Here you go. Yeah, I mean, this was
here's another one.
Yeah, they really nailed her look. I mean, I just I don't think she's on. One thing I do think is if we're going to see more, supposedly like the Wonder Woman for DCU is being fast tracked, so we might have a new Wonder Woman. Which, if that does occur, I think at least in the short term, until maybe you get to like a 10th anniversary of the Wonder Woman movie, which is not like forever off or something.
Yeah, but you're getting new Marvel characters too. You're getting a new Captain America. You got a new freaking
Aries. I'm just saying I don't see it anytime soon that we'll get a Gal Gadot Wonder Woman. I'm just going to disagree with you on that. I think it could be. I think I will not put it that we won't get another one. I mean, we just got a Robocane from a movie that is not the most beloved of the franchise from 30 years ago or 35 years ago.
But people wanted it.
Yeah. So, this, I think
I'm going to make you a guarantee. You will get probably 2 more Artisan Gal Gadot Wonder Womans before you ever get the new Wonder Woman from Hot Toys, at least, because they've got the R&D. This is what they're doing. So, Lane, let's stay with you then, because this is another figure people are spending $1 million on, and it started with this. And people are going nuts trying to get the DX34. And then everyone was saying, Lane, okay, are they going to do a dark side version? Are they going to go ahead and do this? Oh, I don't think so. I think it was just they did it with the Joker. They're not going to do it with every figure. oh, okay, I get it. They did it with, the Mandalorian Obi-Wan. And again, and Sideshow didn't even get it. But they gave us this.
Yeah. And they had told people that they were. And that soured a lot of people with that.
And I think Sideshow, I think Sideshow is going to get their version. When I saw that bank robber version, because David, this is cleverly. This figure here is not tied to Revenge of the Sith or Ahsoka or Obi-Wan series. It's just Sith Apprentice.
This one was a weird one for how that one ended up working out. I mean, I think that was the real Celebration exclusive kind of thing. And then, because they're in Hong Kong where they're based, they did 1,000 for their home market. Unfortunately, that makes it for this one kind of confusing because there's literally 2 different versions of it. So, I don't.
There are. It's a good because you got one from Japan.
A placard thing, yeah.
Right.
It's a minuscule difference, but to some people, that could be down the road, like $50 to $100 difference in price. It's like, well, this is the event, like the special event from 5 years ago version versus this was just, even there was more of it. But like this figure is a very weird one because there wasn't at least some opportunity. I mean, it's very rare. You have to even go back in time to something like, say, the Winnie the Pooh figures or something, which were only released overseas, never released here, or something for them not to at least put out some number here. But I think an episode 3 Dark Side Anakin, because if they don't want to mess around because they already did a sculpted version, then an artisan version, maybe like 2,000, like even more limited number or something like that.
Well, I think with this bank robber version, Lane, of what they did with the Joker, because they did, that's 3,000 of the bank robber version, right? And you got 3,000 of the Batman imposter, that's 6. And then you got 4,000 of the regular DX, that's 4, so that's 10,000. So you have 2,500 of these, Lane, and 3,000 of the other Anakin. It's 55. I think you at least got another 4,500 coming of Anakin, and whether you said it would be Dark Side Anakin, I think he'll get sculpted with it too. So technically, they'll have even more. But I'm talking about just with the artisan work that they're doing.
Yeah, and Moose Stream points out, and I've noticed this too, like at least on BSTs, like the pricing for them has gone down on the BST for the average price that they're selling for. Like I mean, putting it in context that it's still super expensive, way more than it costs to buy at retail. But he points out it's like about 700 on most BST listings are starting to go for this guy, and about 9 for the Sith prices. But okay, so it's only about twice as much as it costs to buy regularly, or 2.5 times as much. So, but
Lane, let's look at some other trends, because this figure, if you remember, came out basically the same time, if you remember, as this figure. They were announced the same time. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then we got, even before it came out, we got the imposter version of the Joker. Okay. And then once the Anakin was released, we got the DX47 version, which never came to Europe or the United States. And now we have the bank robber version. So you do have to wonder, is it possible that we're going to get the bank robber version equivalent of that Dark Side Anakin that you were talking about, of some type of other Anakin? Could it be from Revenge of the Sith? Could it be from the Ahsoka series? Could it even be from the Obi-Wan series?
Or or a concept figure or something like that. Like, I think, do we have enough Anakin? Because I mean, we also just have that Ahsoka series one in the Clone Wars armor. You do hit, but like you said, if they do it in a limited quantity, if they did it a general pre-order, probably that would not be the best idea. Like, it would probably sell this much just because there's been a lot of versions of them. But I think with another Artisan Anakin at this point, if they were, it would need to be a dark side version of some whatever listing you're going to put it in. You know.
Well, let's go back to what
No.
Eamon was saying. Let's get your point, because I think there's still a lot of people who are upset. They said it was coming. They don't have it. We never did get a Darth Vader Sith Apprentice from Sideshow. They never gave us sculpted of either Anakin versions. They're giving us sculpted of both Joker versions except the Joker Imposter version. Is this because Sideshow Lane is still going to get, or they've worked it out where they are going to get some type of dark side or Darth Vader version, maybe the one that's more the yellow eyes that is specific to Revenge of the Sith, or maybe they get a one that's just labeled Ahsoka series. What do you think?
I think there's a decent chance. You're not going to get me to say 100%. I'm not willing to go that far. We've had two versions of them in less than a year, but I think it would make sense for a general, and I'm putting in quotes, general exclusive version that's available in all territories. You know, where the majority would be for, you know, Sideshow. Because in Hong Kong, so they've already had a couple of versions of this guy become available to them. Hey, Lou.
Local Lou is in the house.
What's up, Lou?
What's going on? We got to get Lou.
If you wanted to hear
Lou on the show,
if you wanted to hear,
Lou, I sent you a message.
If you want to hear about someone who got going about Kamen Rider, Lou knows all about Kamen Rider.
Oh, there's a lot of. We got to get him on there to talk about Kamen Riders, because there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that going on. But
how many of those guys they've done in the last couple of years. But I think it makes sense they should do some kind of dark side Anakin, which would be available for here. Maybe it's even a little bit more limited because it's meant, since in their home region they had two figures out that come out within like a 6-month period. Maybe they do where it's like, if they did say like 2,500, maybe it's like 400, 500 there, 2,000 for other regions or something. So it's majority.
Lane, how long can they keep doing this? Because they did it. Do you remember when they came out with the
burn out eventually, man? They're going to burn out eventually.
They're going to burn out because they did it with. Remember, I feel like it really started with the General Kenobi for the Clone Wars for the Clone Wars collection.
Yeah,
and then they did the Mandalorian one, and then it started to really go into Artisan and Snowball. But are they just going to keep doing it until people stop buying it? I guess that's my question.
Yeah, probably more than likely. Yeah, I mean. Because I think even like for some of this could exclude. I think this may fit more to the in more general exclusive, business model. They've kind of used probably going on since last year, like 2024. It seemed to be where they seem to almost have monthly some kind of exclusive figure. A couple of them that I think we're starting to see some of that, wear down. For people for that, where the exclusive tag, despite like how maybe Justin talks about like in his reviews a lot for those, I think we're starting to see a wear down on that particular phrasing and just having the sticker stack on it saying exclusive, because like on maybe not on these guys, like on the Artisan necessarily as much. I don't think we're going to see an Artisan sit there till it actually comes available for general release. I don't think we'll ever see that. But for exclusive, we could see like Gregor took several days to finally waitlist. We've had some other ones which are supposed to be like, hey, we only did like probably US, we got like 1,000 of them, and they're still sitting there. You remember the Miles Morales, the Prowler, that did eventually waitlist, but that took like over a month or more before it.
Well, it's true. But you have to wonder with some of these. I'm very curious then, Lane. I'm very, very interested to see how the bank robber Joker goes. If it's 3 hours, and I think Eamon and you are right on with that, I think that's what it's going to take. That shows that with these prominent characters like Wonder Woman, like Luke Skywalker, like Heath Ledger Joker, like Anakin, that there's just a lot of heat left, a lot of gas left in the tank. Because when you look at the Luke here, the beautiful thing about this Dark Empire Luke and especially with all those review videos are coming out, how awesome this is. He has a lot of messy hair opportunities for this. I mention it. I'm gonna, here's your crystal ball power rankings, and I could go to some of them here. But if with just a New Hope alone, with that messy hair, you could do Farm Boy Luke, you could do Stormtrooper Luke, that's 2, and you could do Ceremony Luke, that's 3. Just with this, you could have 3 versions of Luke right off the bat. Now, with that messy hair, because look at this. I mean, it's freaking messy. It's not clean cut. This isn't the Daniel Craig, James McBond, baby, that we're talking about here. Come on, you know what I'm talking about, Eamon. But when you look at this, Empire Strikes Back, let's go. You got this. That's 4. You got Tauntaun in the snow, or even without a Tauntaun, that's 5. You got the battle damaged Bespin, which we didn't get yet. 6. So we didn't even get into Return of the Jedi and Endor, or just Jedi or Mandalorian. That's 7, 8, 9. You can get 10 freaking figures, Lane, before you even ever get a Leia, because they already are doing it with this messy hair. And look, if people stop buying it, if this goes, if Luke Skywalker, Eamon, would go like that Darth Maul Sith Apprentice, which is limited to 1,500. Let's talk about that. And it's just sitting there. No one's buying it. And it can't even sell out at 1,500. If these start doing that, Hot Toys is going to stop. But until they do, like if this bank robber Joker goes 3,000 and they do a Luke and it goes, they're just going to, here you go. Here's a version backstage playing thumb wrestling with George Lucas exclusively.
Well, do you think what could be kind of a test for one of these of the Artisan line to see how it, like, it's still probably going to waitlist, but that Death Stranding Sam from Death Stranding 2, because that's not part of the usual licenses for a lot of the stuff that they do.
Yeah,
and for a more recent game, even though it is Kojima. I mean, I get an Asia that's probably going to go pretty quickly, but like, I'm glad to see they're trying something like that, going like completely out of the different licenses they normally do. But a figure like that for a recent game, it's not like we're talking if this was Metal Gear Solid Snake or something like that Artisan figure, which has decades of people who are fans of, I think that like that one is, well, that's not quite Death Stranding. Don't mind the figure, but them doing
trying to get to it. I'm getting to it.
Does that feel like to you guys like that's going to be kind of a test one for like how these Artisan for almost any license that isn't even necessary? Because this is one of the first that's not even though Dark Empire was a really kind of obscure version of Star Wars, it was still Star Wars, and it was Luke Skywalker. I'm interested to see how that on Sideshow does. Now, it could be a popular release recently, it might go pretty quick. I don't particularly love the figure so much because of all the junk that's all over him. It looks like a very not easy to pose figure, probably, with all the stuff on him, with his suit. But I'm interested to see how that one on Wednesday, that one's supposed to go up, like how that one does. I still expect it'll waitlist, but I could see that being maybe more along the lines of like Age of Apocalypse Wolverine or something like that. But it is Norman Reedus, so some people who are fans of the actor might pick it up just because it's going to be the closest realistic likeness of him. But that is a really clunking looking suit, which is accurate to the game. I do want to preface that
this figure is sick. I mean, I look at that base. What do you think of the base?
Oh, that's cool. I like it. Maybe not the most practical for putting stuff on, which is unfortunately a common case with diorama bases from Hot Toys, but like it looks good. I think both the versions of this, the sculpted and the Artisan version, look great.
What I really like about the Artisans, great, absolutely, Lane, Eamon, is I do agree with some of the reviews out there. Like even when Justin puts it out, like it adds that level of realism. I really do. I think it does if it's good. And like when I look at this, sure, I'm thinking of Walking Dead and all that as well. But this is I applaud Hot Toys for really diving into what Lane messaged me, a lot of obscure stuff this year. They're oh my god, they're coming out with crazy stuff.
If you're gonna do an artisan of someone's hair, Norman Reedus would be it.
Yeah,
it would be it. Because you're gonna
have this is unreal. What do you think of this?
I purchased the game and played it for probably about 2 hours and then put it up because it's one of those games you get really, really, pulled into. And I kind of trying to avoid games that make you waste a whole off day on. So I kind of avoid those games now. But this right here, did they give out the numbers on this yet? I don't think they're going to produce that many of these.
Yeah, what are the numbers on this? Let's see if we could check it out. I think that they did, right? Let's see. If anyone knows in the chat, 4,000 pieces.
Wow, that's a lot.
Wow.
That's a lot for that. That's a lot.
Yeah. So let me ask you this then.
Ooh, that's a lot.
What market do you think this really hits, Eamon?
This is for the gamers market. This is pretty much along the line for the people that was for the Elite Battle Angel in the Arcane series. These are for diehard gamers right here. And I'm kind of glad that Hot Toys is diversifying doing that because it is a market. It is a market for it. They probably saw how the figures were selling for the Arcane line. They saw how that was going and said, hey, let's kind of jump into this, put an artisan spin to it because Norman Reedus is known for his hair. So, yeah, I'm not going to get it, but, I can see why they did it and add an artisan, put an artisan premium on it, especially when they did it, with the thing with the creator. It had a big press conference and everything. So, the Asian, it's probably gonna be big in the Asian market. I think it's probably it gets here, it may sit for probably about a week or two. I would say probably about a week or two because, like I said, it's pretty much that is primarily for gamers. So,
yeah, I think it's very possible that it could sit as well. It's going to be very telling. Is that Joker,
especially at 4,000 number?
It's going to be very telling if it goes quick, like we're thinking the Joker is going to win a few hours. Imagine if that goes in a few hours, and Hot Toys be like, "Crap, maybe we really tap into this." While we're at it, maybe we just go ahead and make a freaking Space Pimp brother cousins figure while we're at it.
Hey,
maybe can we sell 4,000 of those in a Q system?
How's everybody?
What's up, baby? How you doing?
Doing good. Glad to see you guys. How y'all doing tonight?
We're talking a lot of Artisan because they seem to be good to have you here, Jay. They seem to be going after the R&D that they invested in. Now, I'm not saying that they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because they invested the money. And we got into looking at this figure, which I do. We kind of applaud them for getting into.
Yes.
This, but I'll be honest with you. We went from this right here, Mr. J, to this, which both are going up in value, by the way, to this. And the one I was talking to your brother about, the Nurse Joker, I think is maybe even more iconic for some people. It would be for me that this. I don't really need this because I have the other DX, although I think this is great. I'm thinking about it. I haven't decided all the way yet. But look, before we get Ra's al Ghul, which is what Lane was talking about, we may get a Nurse version of Heath Ledger before we get other characters. And I was bringing that up with the Luke and the Anakin. and Obi-Wan. We may get Obi-Wan, we may get Luke, and we may get more Anakin versions before we ever get a Leia, before we ever get a Padme. Why? Because they've got the head sculpt technology at R&D already with those other figures. And it looks like that they're piecing together volumes of over between 10,000 or so copies by piecing these out. They just did it right here. What is your thoughts on this, bro?
With the Artisan line, there's a lot to go. There's a lot with it. I think there's fatigue in the community and with collectors with this Artisan line. The fact of, and Big Bro has been saying this for about 2 years, or ever since the inception of the Artisan line, was the fact that they're doing too many too fast, and they're not putting them out quick enough. And when we get them, a lot of times, yes, there's questionable things. With the Joker, I have the Artisan Joker. Amazing figure. My copy is amazing. I love it. I like it more than the InArt, in my opinion. But some people had problems with it. There was some rumblings that people's hair was coming out and all that type of stuff.
Right.
Then there's also things where people feel that an Artisan figure, when the Artisan line came out, we were thinking this was going to be a direct competitor to what InArt was giving, and we were thinking, will we get leather? Will we get a different type of body type? Will we get we had all these things. Were we going to get something close to InArt? Is what we were anticipating, and for the most part, it seems to be great head sculpt, regular Hot Toys, below the neck. So
yeah, that's what they're doing. It seems like they're really putting it all into the head and the hair.
Right, exactly. And I think that also kind of like pissed people off a little bit. And I also think the fact that these are kind of hard to obtain is also kind of pissed people off. And I think the final nail in the coffin was the dark side, was the Sith Apprentice Anakin. I think that was the thing that made people really mad and put a bad taste in people's mouth about the Artisan line. And they're like,
it did, because Sideshow didn't even get that, Brother Cousins.
They didn't even have an opportunity. And the thing is, I think what's going on. I'm sorry about that. Somebody just hit me up. Sorry about that, guys. I think what's going on, and I think those are the things that made people kind of soured on this. And then we're getting so many. It's like every other week, just boom, 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 and then it's $45 here, $50 here, $45, and then you're waiting on the figure, and then it's like, okay. Another telling thing is what happened on Friday. I don't know about everybody else, but I was hit with a bunch of I had a bunch of Waitlists convert, and I had an Artisan Anakin convert. I was on Waitlist for 3 years, and it converted. I can't.
You got to be kidding me,
I can't answer that. No, I do have it. I passed it down to Anthony Sixco because my Mafia didn't have one, so I passed it on. I passed my pre-order on over to him because he didn't have one. So he hit me up right at the right time, and I was like, dude, So yeah, so I was thinking to keep it. Devil on my shoulder was like, keep it, pay for it, and then flip it. But I was like, if we can help each other in the community, that's what it is. But yeah, it converted. But not only mine, other people were having Waitlists convert for that Artisan Anakin, and I was like, what? And I actually called Sideshow and asked them. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but if they told me, I'm sure they'll tell everybody else. I asked them, I said, is this ready to go? Is it going to be waiting? It was like, no, we're ready to ship this to your house. Like we're ready to ship this out. We have 50. They said we have 50. We went through.
And which one is it?
This is the Artisan Anakin.
You're kidding.
Yes. They had.
Oh, wait. The DX34, the 34 one. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the 34, not the Sith Apprentice, not that one. That's never coming to the state. Well, doesn't seem like that's ever coming to the states. But yeah, their regular edition, which to me, I think is the better version, in my opinion, honestly. Actually having both, I think that's the better one.
But that's amazing that you're able to get.
The reason why you got these waitlist conversions going on, because probably everybody that blew their load of spending $1,500 to getting that dark side.
There you go.
It was the use of getting the other. So
that's exactly.
That's the caution. Yep. That's the tale of caution when you go and get it. My thing is, if you fully commit, or if you want to fence, if you want these type of people, like, hey, another version is gonna go past, do that. Some people are gonna go ahead and get it as a placeholder, and then when they spend that money to get that up, you get that other one, they get it, and then it goes on wait lists, and somebody's wait list converted. Yes. That's what I knew. A whole bunch of waitlist conversions were going to happen with that Anakin when that dark side, and you saw seeing on the secondary market.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
it makes me question too, but we get back into the whole thing about numbers, because there's a lot of those figures floating around. A lot,
because you got to think about the resellers in Hong Kong, your Tencent, your
you can try the waitlist on this, guys.
The waitlist. Didn't you have a waitlist?
I actually had one that converted.
Yeah.
Way back.
Oh yeah, I've been on the wait list for that thing. I'm just amazed because I must be like really dumb on the wait list, because I've been on since the first day that originally went out.
Damn, I'm sorry.
But Jay, we were talking about this before you came on, and I think Eamon, you mentioned this a couple weeks ago. You're like, look, they already got the R&D. Their show, and this was before the bank robber Joker. The answer was, of course, they're going to give you versions of this because people. So, Jay, I guess my question is, if people can't get an Artisan DX Joker, the one that I have, or the Imposter, or they can't get this, should they just wait because they're obviously going to give you the bank robber version of Wonder Woman?
Between these two companies, between InArt and Hot Toys with this Artisan line, I say the best, and I know my Big Bro's gonna laugh because he knows I'm Mr. Impatient. The best thing in this hobby is to wait. Wait, because they're gonna give you everything you want. They want your money, and they know other companies are vying for your money. I mean, look at Caustic Plastic with the Maestro line. Look at what Jazz Inc. is doing with their 1/6 scale figures. So everybody is vying for your money. These companies want to stay on top. Hot Toys want to stay on top. And and to answer your original question, I know I kind of went off on a tangent, but I think my whole point is, I think Hot Toys, they pay attention to the shows. We know. We've seen where we'll go off air and they'll drop something. We'll mention something, and then a week later it's out. We've seen that happen, and that's not a coincidence. There's no coincidence. You're a detective now, so there's no such thing as a coincidence. So, love Dark Knight, but anyway, that's the thing. There's no coincidence with this stuff. They're doing their market research. They're looking at what's going on in the secondary market. They're looking at all the people. They knew when they dropped that Sith Apprentice, which that was a nice little treat for everybody at Celebration, but they also knew that was going to open the doors to people spending that money, and those pre-orders opening up like that, and people that were on a wait list were able to get one. I still think if it's 50, think about it. If there's 50 out there, there's probably going to be some people that are going to be like, damn, like Big Bro said, I blew my load on the Darth Vader Sith Apprentice. I always wanted a dark side Anakin. Do I really need this? No. So, Lane, in a couple of weeks, couple of days, you may be hit with you may be hit with a conversion. Who knows?
I haven't recently, but like you guys were saying, like earlier in the last year, like I had a Scarlet Witch Artisan conversion, like October last year. I ended up canceling because it just said it's too much money that was going to be charged for me, and I didn't care enough about the version of the character to finally get it. That was before it even actually released or something. But
you make that choice. Either you pay your rent or you get that figure.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I think where Jay makes a good point is that I think you can also be, as what Eric's has spent a lot of time talking about today, is like different versions of characters. Now, I'm not going to say, are we ever going to get a Dark Empire Luke again in 1/6 scale? Probably the likelihood of that is probably no. Like that's look for it.
Yeah.
But if you're a big Luke Skywalker fan, or you're a Leia fan, or for major characters or different, even if I know we're going to probably have the more focus on the Corn Sweat Superman the next 4 or 5 years, probably for figure statues. But did I just totally say his name wrong?
No, every time I hear it, I'm sorry. Every time I hear it, I just laugh.
It sounds like it should be like a brand of like, corn you boil or something.
Right, corn sweat.
Yeah.
I know he had a hell of a high school experience, man.
Oh yeah, there's certain names, man. That's like being named Apple by like Gwyneth Paltrow's kid. Don't be naming your kids after vegetables or fruits, man.
Corn sweat.
Yeah.
Well, Lee, when you're talking about, I'm showing it right here on the banner. I mean, continue to go. I mean, it's just all I'm showing is the obvious of what
if you have a particular look or style to a character that you want. I mean, like a lot of people wanting a more up-to-date bank robber Joker. The reason I thought Hot Toys might be doing it is that J&D confirmed they were going to be doing a 3rd scale statue of it.
Well,
the thing is, a lot, especially I think in Asia and stuff, when you start hearing like this manufacturer or this manufacturer is going to be making a statue or whatever of these characters, or a look of a character that's been available before, like Ledger Joker, a lot of times multiple companies are all planning and put out that look or style or whatever of that character at the same time. That's just how you look at this. So as soon as I heard that, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if Hot Toys or InArt or somebody was in some point, maybe in the next 6 months, going to announce that version of, they were going to have a version of that character come out. That's just the way a lot of this works with those characters. But
exactly.
I think you can be patient if there's a particular look you like,
that's the key. You could be patient if there's a particular look you like. Continue.
You might have to wait years, and a lot of people, me and a certain other cousins guy, we're probably not patient enough where it could be. We could get the thing where, hey, they're going to put out, I don't know, say Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker with hair, with having like rooted hair. But we were told, however, the 13 Skull speaks to us, tells us that if you wait 3 years, there's going to be a Luke Skywalker commander with Tauntaun.
Well, I mean,
we probably would be like, I can't wait 3 years. That's like,
here's where you're also onto something. You're probably not going to get a Dark Empire Luke again. Number one, it was exclusive, right? But what you're going to get, and I like that they're not doing that, because that just played out sucks. If we were to buy, and these are supposed to be limited, Jay, going back to you, to 3,000 pieces, 4,000 pieces, 2,500 pieces, and they put out the same damn figure. Now I've got an even bigger problem than that Anakin. But if you're going to go ahead and put out a bank robber Joker, you're not putting out the Joker that you see underneath here, the first one, a bank robber Joker. At least you're giving collectors, like Lane is saying, a lane, no pun intended, to be able to budget down, saying, you know what, I know they're going to give me another Joker. They're going to do like 5 of these head sculpts. I'll try and jump on that queue and get that, because I don't need this one, and I don't have to spend $1,000 here. Because I'm telling you, with this Luke, look, I brought it up earlier. This Luke showed specifically, you can do hair for Farm Boy Luke. You could do hair for Stormtrooper Luke. You could do hair for Ceremony Luke. That's 3 from A New Hope. You could do hair for Hoth Luke. You could do hair for Snowspeeder Luke. You could do hair for Battle Damage Luke. That's 3. That's 6 with Empire Strikes Back and A New Hope, Jay, without even including Mandalorian: Return of the Jedi. You know they're going to do it because the hair just works. His hair is always freaking messy. So people can do that, and I appreciate they're not putting out the same figure, because that would suck. Go.
Exactly. I mean, when we saw Joker, and when they did when they announced the Artisan purple coat Joker, it made all the sense in the world because NR did theirs. It had been like 12 years since that Joker 2.0 with the table. The DX came. What was it? Which one is that? DX 11. It was like 12 years when DX 11 came out. So it made all the sense in the world that they would make an Artisan, and that would be the first Artisan. When they did the Joker with the Batman, the Imposter, when they did the Imposter Joker, that there it was right there. I was like, okay, they're gonna be using these heads. Oh, the head is a little different. Okay, cool. They're going to do a bank robber. I called it right then and there. I was like, we're getting a bank robber. They're gonna.
You did you did call that. You actually made a video.
No, I was like, they're going to do a bank robber, and here we are. We have the bank robber Joker, and I mean, it's going to be the same thing with Farm Boy Luke. They're going to wait to the 50th. The 50th anniversary is right around the corner. Of course, you're going to get a Farm Boy Luke with the rooted hair because the rooted hair looks great. You're going to get so many Lukes. If you're, and that's the thing. I understand why they made the Dark Empire exclusive because it is niche for all of those that were there, for all the people that know about it. Yes, that is our jam. But for people that don't, they're like, I don't get it. Like, you ain't up on it, so don't worry about it. Leave that thought to the people that really want it. But a Farm Boy Luke with rooted hair, it's definitely going to happen. And they'll probably do the same thing with a Han. You'll get a rooted hair Han as well. Because think about it. They just gave us, and I think that should be shipping from Sideshow next week, the Return of the Jedi Han Solo. But they haven't given us a 2.0 of Han from A New Hope. They haven't given us that because he's going to have rooted hair. And they'll give you, if they're smart, they'll give us two versions. They'll give us two SKUs. They'll give us a rooted hair version, and then they'll give us sculpted. Same way they did with Bank Robber Joker. And I think that will be the way. The thing is with this Artisan stuff, even when we get tired of it, and even I was like, maybe I should just, not buy as many Hot Toys, buy them for the Marvel things that I want, and then I'm just going to go all in on art. It's a slower pace, but I'll be spending more money, but I'll be spending less money because they don't have that many properties. So it's never safe, but I know I'm getting quality stuff. But here it is. Hot Toys is the king for a reason. They know there's a lot of collectors out there thinking just like that. So what they're going to do, and they do this great, they pivot. They're spoon feeding us. They've been doing this shit the whole time with this Artisan line. So what's going to happen is when they see figures start to sit like that Wolverine did, that Wolverine could be a crapshoot because a lot of people don't know about that particular version. They don't know about that comic. They didn't know the historic comic roots of that character. So some people are kind of thrown off about it. And I think a lot of people just want the yellow and blue one that we've been promised. People just want that one right now. So that's a whole nother thing as well. Like, why invest in money in that when I want the Deadpool Wolverine that was in most of the damn movie? So that's another thing. But if this Artisan line starts to dwindle and these things are not going like within an hour, or they're hanging around for like a day and shit, what they'll do is you're going to see them start doing better proportions, what they already have done, but you're going to see more leather goods. You're going to see better bases. You're going to see more magnetic bases. You're going to see that shit. And the easiest thing for them to do, and it's so easy for them, and I know they're doing this shit intentionally because it is that easy for them to do. If they start printing fucking numbers on these things, they're gonna fly like hotcakes all over again.
And you've mentioned that before, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I see a scenario where I feel like they're oversaturating the market, number one.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of collectors, including myself, that I'm doing this. I'm really more buckling down to very specific Hot Toys pieces, like for instance, the Return of the Jedi Vader, the 2.0 Maul, the Terminator figures are coming out with the battle damaged Vader, Artisans, and the in-art Lord of the Rings. I'm not getting everything anymore because I just can't afford it all. And these 2.0s are killing it. I think it's from the competition of InArt. And if they don't start serializing these, and I think, Jay, they may actually start doing it with the sculpted ones as well, not just Artisan. You know what I'm talking about? Like those, they did it before with the Iron Man. Remember, like last year, they've done it before where they serialized them. How much effort would it be for them to do that, though, guys? I mean, is it really a whole lot of effort for them to do that? To mark a package?
It's just simple printing it on a sleeve. That's all it is.
That's all they have to do. And the sad part is they've done it 3 times already. They did it with the President Loki from the Loki show. They did it with the Michael Jackson Beat It, which a lot of people don't know, but that one was actually a limited and was numbered. So they can do this shit. They're just playing with us. They're playing with the market, seeing how much they can get away with, and then they'll be like, okay, now it's numbered. Because I do think, I hate to admit it, I would hate, because it's no way for us to track it right now. It really isn't. There's no like this is not like comic books. It's not like baseball cards. It's action figures.
I got my Wonder Woman right in the back. There's no way to. I don't know what number it is. I just know it's 1 in 1,500.
There you go. There you go.
Well, you got to look at. I look at it like this: is okay. This is a niche type of thing. It's not a lot of people that's into this. But on average, Hot Toys print probably between 7 to 10,000 a figure. That's how they've been doing in the past. They probably have the code been cut. They're probably down to like maybe 6,000 on certain pieces. When you start seeing volume, what made me start being real suspicious of numbers is when I started seeing figures as supposed to be 1,500, and I started seeing them on the secondary market. And it's not like one page you see. It's like 10 pages of it.
Yeah.
And then it makes the thing like, okay, I know we got flippers out there, but we ain't got that many flippers.
And that's just eBay. Think about it. That's just eBay.
Right.
That's just and if they go ahead and they serialize these and they do the serialization correctly, it can help the obvious counterfeiting. I mean, I know these figures are very artistic and they're very hard to do. But we're at the point with technology and 3D printing nowadays where once you can reverse engineer something. Right, Eamon? Right, Lane? Right, Jay? So now how many are bootlegs, I guess is my question.
Well, it's just like the
But you got to think, sorry to cut you off, bro. Get back to the thing when this tariff thing started kicking off.
Oh, God.
When this tariff thing started kicking off, guess who came out the woodwork? Everybody turned around and bought Tiffany & Company, Givenchy, Boss, all these high-end bags. And they out there was like, hey, I'm letting you guys know. You think you're getting these bags originally from here? They get it from us to make them here for them. And here's your secondary batch. You can go to New York. You go to New York on what's it? I can't forget it. King Street on Marsh Street in New York, and you can find a Louis Vuitton bag that look like a complete replica for somebody to spend $5,000 on. I've seen it myself. I go to New York a lot, and you turn and see you cannot tell the difference between the two.
On those bags, so with watches too.
And they talked about that in the Gucci movie. They talked about like that's done. And I mean, even with the sneakers, people think like if you're buying some Jordan 11s. And they say they're making about 500,000 Jordan 11s. What Nike does, it all comes from the same factory. Nike goes to that factory in China, gets about 500,000 pairs and said, these are the pairs that we're going to sell on our site and that we're shipping out to stores here in America. The other 100,000 or 50,000 are just sitting. And those become what they call UAs. They're unauthorized pairs. You think there's not unauthorized product?
It's called a black market. You can actually tell me if I'm a foreman of a shop and I'm sitting there producing 10,000 figures, I would be like, hey, I know I could turn around since they said this figure is limited. I can get 1,200 pop. Hey, John, can you print me about another 2,500 to put over to the side and just throw them out there? Come on, man. It's just capitalism 101. That's what happens.
And then we also got to look at, yes, like going back to Luke, think about it like this too. I'm sorry, not Luke. The Anakin, the Artisan Anakin. Yes, okay. So Sideshow says they have like 3,000, right? Let's say they just say, oh, we just have 3,000. We're out. They also got to make a batch and also got to have a batch for spare parts and shit too. So that's another batch, and they don't talk about. They're not going to talk about that.
They really aggravated a ton of people with that. But here's my opinion with that, and I think the bank robber Joker further solidified Lane's point, where he really thought that there was going to be a dark side, possibly a dark side version, that is specific to Revenge of the Sith. Yeah. As soon as I saw that bank robber version, the first thing, I'll be honest with the three of you and everybody in the chat, the first darn thing that went through my head was, oh boy, here comes another Anakin to Sideshow. Because I never really thought that their main partner in here in the United States and Europe was going to get the shaft on that Anakin and with its customers for the long haul. And it was very specifically that Japan exclusive, whether it was for Celebration or just in that area, in China, outside of there, where they put out another 1,000. I really think one that's either specific to the Ahsoka series, and one that's specific to Revenge of the Sith, and probably both, and maybe even more, with the Obi-Wan series or something else. When I saw that bank robber version, I said, oh my God, here we go. They won't give you the same exact version, but they are going to milk this cow like crazy with this rooted hair that they already have the technology for. I'm being honest with you. I really think it's going to happen, which brings me to this one. Jay, not to cut you up, but I'm bringing this one in as well. And, I'm going to play this for you because you did make a video where you called the bank robber Joker.
They call him the Wizard.
And I am calling this one right here.
They call him the Wizard.
But I've been calling this one. This one. And I don't care that his leg is exposed. This is
no.
Give me a break. So a couple of people have said that to me. His leg's exposed. Areas they'll never do it. I said, you're going go. Stop. They're absolutely. Lane, I know what you're going to tell me. You're going to tell me this because you're a Rogers fan.
That's not happening. That's not going to happen.
I can just tell you from the fact that one, WB doesn't want to do this one because in the scene he blows up a hospital. Yeah. Two, there's been plenty of things that Ledger's family and does not want that version done just because he's cross-dressing in it basically. So
dude, he's in the skies.
I'm not saying what difference does that really make? It would be awesome, but supposedly I've heard WB just because of what happens in the scene where he's dressed up, because you see him blow the hospital up, and also Ledger's family doesn't want that version of him done. I think we would have had one by now.
I kind of agree with Lynn on this because somebody would have. I think this was one that NR would really. I could see NR or J&D would really go after.
Because would do it because I think people would be.
People would want this, and I think any of those companies, I can see them this would be the one that a lot of people would want because that it hasn't been done before. But I think I agree with Lane. I think it must be something with the estate. It must be something with WB. WB is weird. They had that weird thing where they didn't want any figures done.
It's not they give out their license all over the place, like it's going for their stuff. So WB is not I think is like if WB owned Star Wars, we would have already had several different Hutt Slayer Leia's, different versions of her or something. already.
Well, this brings me to the fun part of this show where we're going to get into this lane. So, Lane, I've got to ask you. I got to ask you, baby. What is more likely to yeah? You have to choose one. Okay. Which one is more likely to come out as an artisan? Pregnant Padme, or hospital or a hospital Heath Ledger
I see
Joker.
In that particular case, pregnant Padme, which I've already.
Wow, pregnant Padme.
Oh yeah, over the Ledger Joker.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, come on now. Pregnant Padme is deceased in a casket, and y'all talking about Joker wearing dressing as a nurse blowing up a building.
We're going down a path, man. That we
come on. Come on.
Aries was out. I said there was zero chance we would ever do a Revenge of the Sith pregnant Padme, and Aries was giving me, to quote the term, a long song and dance about why multiple times why they would do that, and I kept going, no, they're not going to do it, Aries. There are a lot of different figures of versions we could see possibly. That is not one. That is absolutely not one they will ever do.
Okay, let's change that. Let's just change that to the Annie and Padme edition, rolling in the grass. That artisan, we can do that.
That artisan version. I mean, at this point, just like that meme scene that's been done over and over again. Like,
all right, well, let's go with this. So you're saying that Padme over before the Joker, but what about
this Joker? Yes.
Okay, what about this Padme, which is still, I think she's pregnant, and Bale 2-pack, or the nurse Joker?
Trying to put me. I passed my thing to brother cousins.
Oh, I knew you were going to do that. I knew you were going to do that.
Yeah. Everybody. This is me going Oprah and giving everybody a pregnant Padme choice. That's enough.
Here's the thing I don't understand, because she's Padme. She's in the freaking movie for 2 hours, Eamon. She's in the movie for 2 hours, right? And she has dresses that are fine. So why can't you, to go with this Anakin, whether the dark side or the new one, put out Natalie Portman? You're telling me you can't put Natalie Portman figure out for this movie?
Oh man, for artisan Natalie Portman figure is Padme, I'm all for it. The whole artisan one, she pregnant on it, I'm out on that. No. that is
now the funeral one. That would be hard.
Anybody that turn around will try to vote for that. I'm like, okay, a pregnant lady in a casket with long hair. Come on, that's just. All right, I got to put the brakes on something. That's it right there. Now, for this version, yes, it was a lot.
You can make it a power pose.
That's why you're off camera. Your ass need to be on IGTV for that. That's crazy. See, that's just the form of comedy coming out, man. That just. Nah, dude. I'm glad you're hiding your face while you do it.
We're gonna have to put the bad juju on your brother. That he's gonna, like, this next week. There are gonna be so many releases. He's gonna have to be on streaming at like 7 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah,
a stream like 4 out of the 5 next days or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, let me make this hard for brother cousins. I'll move to one that's a little more serious. Why so serious? Okay. So, will they give us another? Okay, you brought this up. Han Artisan, Leia Artisan, or Padme Artisan. I'm going to give you 3. Okay. Do they come out with one of those before they come out with? And I pointed this out to you, and we kind of agreed on it. Take the bangs. I mean, not the bangs. Take the mullet, off this Obi-Wan. You know what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Or with the in light of the bank robber Joker or the imposter Joker, do we actually get another Ewan McGregor before we get the Artisan Leia, Artisan Han, or the other one I mentioned?
We get another Ewan McGregor. We get another one, and I'm gonna tell you why. You can't see him back there, but I got him together got them together with Artisan Anakin. I was looking at that figure and the proportions on the old Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan. It's the old proportions. He looks like a doll. He does compared to the proportions.
He does.
He looked like if you with the cloak on, he looks good. As long as he has the robe on, he looks good. You take that robe off, he's kind of doll-like. It's 2018. I was like, oh, it's 2018 Hot Toys again. And you stand him next to the new Anakin, you can see those proportions the Anakin looks more like a real guy in the costume. So when I saw that, I said, you know what? They're going to make another one of these. They're going to have to redo. And I think that's what it is. They're about cementing their legacy. They want to be the premier. They are the premier company. Howard is not playing with any of y'all, and he is definitely not playing with these other companies out here. So he's going to come back. He's going to go right back to that well. And Star Wars is his shit. So he's going to make sure he gets everything from that license, and nobody gets that license from him. So he's going to do this. He's going to do that again. So yes, we're going to get another Ian McGregor, Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan. It's definitely going to happen. To go and looking back at, and I was just thinking about this with Anakin. What if, now this was going to piss a lot of people off when I say this. What if they give us another Revenge of the Sith Anakin, but it's classified as Mustafar Final Battle Anakin. And here's the thing that's going to piss everybody off.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
It looks just like the prototype, because we know the one that we have now doesn't exactly look like the prototype. It looks good, but it doesn't look exactly like the prototype.
Well, let me ask you a question, Jay. How could, here's the thing, they have, what is the reason for them not to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because the Mustafar version sounds awesome. Lane, that's right around where you're saying about a dark side version. I like where Jay's going with the Mustafar.
I thought, like, just it's like, episode 3, like, just call it Anakin Skywalker, like, final battle or something.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And, episode 3, final
But here's the thing, guys. You don't even have an Ahsoka version yet.
Right. That's what I'm ready to say. Or Ahsoka.
I mean, it's weird to me that they didn't call Darth Vader's Sith Apprentice the Ahsoka version. Maybe because we already have an Ahsoka Anakin coming out. It was like, this is going to be confusing. But all they could have said was Ahsoka Clone Wars Anakin. So it's weird to me because it's so obvious that this version right here is the Ahsoka Anakin, from the red lightsaber to the to the wording that's on the inside of the box is the exact shit he said to Ahsoka in the show. It's the Ahsoka Dark Vader, Dark Side Anakin. That's what it is.
Well, you know what, Jay? It's either because they didn't want to confuse people, or it's because they're planning doing an Ahsoka one, or maybe it's a little of both.
Yeah, I think it's a little of both. And
here's another thing: there's rumor about an Obi-Wan series, a second one, and he was in Obi-Wan. Just saying.
Yeah.
It was.
And I think they don't want to oversaturate themselves because they know they got all this stuff coming down the pipe. So,
well, and it was like Lane was saying. Lane, it goes to what you were saying earlier. You were like, we're getting all these. We got the Banes. We're probably going to get an Artisan Catwoman. We got all these Jokers. We haven't got a Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah,
I don't know what to tell you, but it's the same thing with, I think, Artisan Leia and Artisan Padme. You're probably going to get more Ewan McGregors because they already have it with the hair. Where do you get them?
I want to head back to one thing you guys talked about with the numbers and everything like that. Is I've been meaning it because I actually was going to message brother. I just thought of this real quick when I was going to be messaging this to brother cousins earlier. This is not Hot Toys. This is 1/6 scale, but it's Sideshow related for their Scum and Villainy because we were talking about numbers. So, what do you think Sideshow was thinking? You know, they've been slowly putting up those figures. They put up Bidu, which is the Rhodian that looks like Guido,
right?
Yeah.
They put him up. He had an ES of 100.
Wow.
And literally, he sold out. There's no wait list. He sold out completely.
All right.
What's the name is like that? One of the Scum and Villainy lines, I think, was Elabra. They did him his 100 pieces of him also.
Yeah. Like
so,
what we talk about them having short numbers.
Well, and here's so Lane and gang. I'm getting word, and I was right on with Luke. And I'll tell you, I'm hearing it on Spider-Man and Black Widow. We're getting very, very close to these coming out. But what's very interesting about this, and I'm going to go to you, Aben, first on this, because I think Hot Toys have a lot of fun. You look at this, and you look at this, and it is unreal what Hot Toys can do with Scarlett Johansson and Black Widow, and you're seeing it with the Joker, and I'm wondering if there's a couple here. I'm not saying all of them that they may just jump on with some variants while they're rooting it.
Avengers
with this.
Avengers.
But which one, Eamon? I'll give this to you. Are we likely to get, like with all these other alternates, if we were likely to get another Black Widow Artisan and get it quick, which one do you think they would jump on here?
Wow, that's
a tough one, right?
That's a tough one. I would probably say the middle.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking too. The 2016.
Yeah, Civil War. That was the best hair.
Yeah,
that was the best hair. That just screams Artisan, and that hairstyle that's a good pick because that hairstyle is very similar to the Wonder Woman 100 hairstyle. So it's a
You know what they could do
very
too?
good.
The one underneath it, 2015 from Age of Ultron, this shorter.
That needs to be redone because oh my god, that figure. That was a shit bag.
Are you talking about the Age of Ultron? Oh my god,
yeah.
Age of Ultron did not have a lot of good turnout.
Yeah, I call that version with the methany hair.
Yeah, seriously.
That man, whew, like she was smoking.
She almost had a something. No, I'm not gonna say that. Hell with it. I'm gonna say she almost had. No, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'll be quiet.
Is there any version here? Let me ask you guys this. With the one that they're doing all the way on the left, is there anyone here where they almost got the same outfit and they're like, you know what, we're rooting this, let's make it shorter and it's easy for them? And I think it is the one in the middle, but I think it is. There's a couple here. Age of Ultron, maybe.
I think you'd be more likely to get Avengers.
I think you're gonna get Avengers.
The regular Avengers 2012.
We're still getting stuff from Avengers 2012. We just got the Tony Stark.
Super different compared. Like they're doing the one. My favorite look was always her first appearance from Iron Man 2. I always thought that was the best look. But I think you're more likely to see Avengers because that is like that was when the MCU really launched. Like that was truly the ultimate launch pad because everybody was like, holy crap, we're seeing the Hulk, we're seeing Captain, not even well known necessarily to the greater public, but we're seeing like we had never seen 6 or 7 heroes on the same screen at the same time unite to fight whatever. The Chitauri were kind of whatever for threat. That they were just like my bumbling idiot. And I stressed the bumbling idiot part, evil aliens attacking. And yes, you had Loki, but Loki had already been trashed by Thor by himself. So, with I think that's what launched the MCU, and that is for as much money as Endgame and that those made. Avengers, I still think, is the best Avengers movie.
I agree.
I agree. Preston does bring up a good
agree.
point too, because I was thinking the blonde part of me, Black Widow too, and I don't know why, but I guess
it would make it very different than the first Artisan they did. So I mean, that could be a selling point for it. But at the end of the day, Hot Toys, as most companies will, what's going to be the easier thing for us to do and sell? If you put Avengers, Black Widow, like if they go through like maybe this winter, because we haven't seen a whole lot of 10th anniversary Avengers stuff.
It needs an update. That's the thing. It really does need an update. That figure is old.
They might go all in because they did a Winter Soldier, but we could see, a new. They're like, well, Chris Evans is one of our best-selling versions of a character, and unfortunately, Falcon didn't sell great necessarily, but they didn't give him enough time to, I think, either.
So here's a hard one, Lane.
Yeah.
Which ones of these are they definitely not ever going to do in Artisan? Which ones?
The Black Widow movie ones. The last two.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
Black Widow didn't do very good. Why do a version of the end of the character that did like last appearance that did not do very well? Now that's Disney's fault, I think.
So do you see that they would do all the Avengers ones?
I think you're more likely to see maybe like Winter Soldier because they like if you're talking the next maybe 2 or 3 years, I could see possibly Winter Soldier because they've got the Winter Soldier coming out, even though it's not Artisan like Winter Soldier. They put out that stealth suit Captain America. Like I think the biggest two you could see with of her would be Winter Soldier and would be also First Avengers. Those are the ones I think are most likely to happen.
Brother Cousins?
I think the ones we picked were really great picks. I think Big Brother did an excellent job picking the 2016 Civil War version. Like I said, I think the hair is they've already done this style of hair. So it's just them applying it to this version and Bob's your uncle give us that suit that changed the proportions. Easy work. The Avengers one is the one that I think a lot of people are going to want because if you look at the Avengers Black Widow, it barely at that time they struggled with her likeness, and it barely looks like her. So that one totally needs an update. And I think if they put that out tomorrow, that would fly. That would be a lot of people would go ape shit for that one. So I that's one, including myself. That's the one I want the most.
Could you see them doing it when they put out the one that they're going to come out with any day? That they can
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because people think about it. People missed out on this one. They missed out, So giving this, and I mean, there's going to be people like me that wanted both because I do think I agree with Lane that I liked her first two looks the best. My third favorite look for her would be the Civil War look. I thought she was gorgeous in that. I mean, oh God, smoke show. But
they could probably do that one, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, but I think those are the top three best.
It shows you what they can do with this realism and once they do it. Could you guys even imagine? And here's just a tease of one of the versions that they can do of. Could you imagine when they do an Artisan Padme Eamon, and they finally just put one out? And I feel like once they do that, we're talking about like these versions. Once they have the R&D of, Iron Man and Spider-Man and Stormtroopers and Darth Vader, I just feel like with her, there are so many outfits. They can just like I can't even. It would take me another 2 hours to go through all the outfits. They could just, and they can piece these out 1,000 at a time if they want.
Yeah, that would be crazy. That would be absolutely crazy.
And I'll be honest with you, I don't know why they haven't yet, but I'm thinking that maybe Abe, when they're doing the R&D work, the rooted's a little intricate. So once they do a rooted, I know they've done this Padme, but once they get to a rooted one, they'll probably just look at all these different costumes and be like, okay, you know, which ones can I do? And I think we'll just be getting, and I don't know. Jay, I don't think I think I'd have to get every one of her. Because I'm such a
that
Star
right
Wars
there. Now that one right there, if they did an Artisan, they wouldn't even dare. They wouldn't even attempt, because
that'd be hard.
That's
they have some of the dreads with Jack Sparrow, right? Or some.
Yeah, but you talking about these are like angel hair.
I feel like it's a piece that they would put on her head. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm not gonna say they wouldn't try, because
dealing
with hair technology outside of figures, you see all kinds of amazing and crazy stuff at the same time. So I'm not even gonna say they can't do it, but if they were to do one, this would be unique. This would be unique right here. Of all the other, I think it was only two that probably would set the challenge things for Artisan for her. It would be the one that you just had on the screen. You'd be the one at the upper right. The classic one at your upper left.
That classic one at the upper left, I talk about it a lot. It would be very hard, I think, but I think they could do it. How are they going to get the hair if they Artisan it to stay in place? I'm sure that they would be able to do it.
They'll wrap it. I mean, basically,
they will wrap it.
Yes,
and I think they put a chemical in it, don't you think? Like,
they'll wrap it multiple times, and they have a filler inside of it. I mean, that's how they did it, and that's how some ladies, when they go out and they do these elaborate hairstyles, that's the way they do it. So.
Yeah, I tell you what, I think that once we get her, I think it's just going to be absolutely insane. Did I lose Jay?
I think you turned around and lost Jay, and then Lane looked like he dipped off for a second. Yeah, I think Jay had connection issues.
I'm back.
Right.
I do. Sorry about that.
Mr. Wade is back.
Cat was clawing at the door. I could hear him because it was actually feeding time. So I needed to go get him squared away so he didn't tear all my paint off my door.
Well, I was just saying, Lane, that once they finally do an Artisan Padme, I feel like they'll have the R&D to go to town.
Yeah.
But I don't think any one of them, except maybe the one on the top left, or maybe a couple of her iconic looks are going to be very. I mean, are any of her looks 5,000-6,000, or are they all like three?
Well, I think they did too many of the Black Widow. I didn't get why they did so many of her.
They did 6,000 altogether.
Yeah, I don't get why they did that many. To me, that seems to.
But they did all sell out. I will tell you.
Yeah, I know. I'm not gonna, but that's too much for exclusive. That's not exclusive. There are runs of figures that have had way less than that. Also, it feels weird they did more of the special edition than the collector's edition, but that's fine, whatever. But I mean, I still think the figure is going to be great. But this is one I do think that on the secondary market years from now, that I think that the value for it is going to be less, because I think they've just done a lot of them. I mean, I was noticing on some of the like Hong Kong sites, the Dark Empire Luke is selling for under retail for what they paid there right now. But
well, you're talking about the hog cog with some of the artisan figures or any of the figures.
Mhm.
Well, I tell you what, Lane, the one thing I'm noticing with that, and Eamon brought it up before, is I think people are afraid. I'm seeing more money being spent. I'm seeing those Anakins go. Here's the price on the DX34. It's a $900 figure all in right now. Pretty much $850 to $950 shipping taxes in the United States. And then the DX art, the Darth Vader one is about 1,000, 1,100 all in. But they're spending it here in the U.S., but I'm not seeing a whole lot of people spend it from overseas because of the tariff, especially in Asia.
One of the main things, one of the cheaper shipping methods is not even doing, when they were a couple months ago really having a war of words with each other. But sorry, I didn't mean to get us too sidetracked from your original thing here with this. But I think that, I'm interested to see how this one comes out with like the hair and stuff, just from how, because it had much better hairstyling, like than say I think where the original Artisan prototype for Scarlet Witch basically looked like they just dumped the Wonder Woman hair in a vat of hair dye and made it red instead of black, and then stuck it on the figurehead. But all these are kind of cool and everything. But
it's interesting. We spent 2.5 hours talking about what's going on.
I think that is probably for all the stuff. Like I think actually probably from at least a technical standpoint for how they put it together, I think that Robo-Cane is probably the figure I'm wondering the most how they're going to make that work since General Grievous last year.
I'm pretty pumped up about those, but I'm also pretty Aries out at this point. I'm out of all the wizard juice has used up all its fill at this point. But I am glad to see they went RoboCop 2. I love what they did there, and they're doing a lot of stuff that's just blowing me away. I do see a trend though of these artisan figures, and really them utilizing the tooling to just make a myriad of different variations. You see it with the bank robber Joker. You saw it with whatchamacallit, the Batman imposter, and the one thing I'm just going to show over here, Lane, and I think we lost Brother Cousins, but it was good to have him in here. Lissy jumps back in, but I'm just going to show this real quick. I put this out today for official 6-scale Cantina ancient action figure theorists. This is another all new members exclusive content. The Artisan Variant Production Program, I posed a question. We talked about it all show, but I really dive into some extra. If you want to go hear some extra, hear some thoughts of me diving into why I think it's actually a whole project, a whole program that Hot Toys has all laid out over there, like we're talking about today, just click on the little join button, baby. I do appreciate your support. Every little bit goes ahead. It helps towards what we do on the channel, and it's just $3.99 a month. It's always been the same as it's been for years. You could also get it right here. And we've had quite a few. We've had the It Art vs. Hot Toys, my take on that, the whole health update there, and then this new one that just came out today, Insider Extra. So you could do that. But I really do think, Lane and Eamon, that there is some type of artisan variant production program going on. I get into it a little bit here, but we talked about it all show. And I think it's part of the other program that they're doing that's very, very obvious, and I think we all know that as well, is they're 2.0ing just about everything. They're 2.0ing just about everything And I think that's another deliberate program that they have been doing, Eamon, as well. I think that they're purposely unveiling this stuff, and they're purposely putting out 2.0s. We're seeing it from everywhere, from these Iron Mans to Terminators to Batmans. We're seeing it with these multiple versions. They're deliberately doing this, dude.
Yeah. And they doing it to the point until the well's gonna run dry. Because I think we pretty much brought up a good point with counterfeited tonight. And not to think that this hobby is not exempt from that. That'd be insane not to think that. I mean, for people not to think that. But, as long as, there's a market and, we keep jumping at it, they're going to keep printing them out until, until, like you keep saying, the well gets dry. And that's what I'm worried about, because I'm worried about them putting these artisans out. It's not the fact that they're putting them out; it's just the fact that the volume that they're putting them out. And but when I first saw the artisan line, I really was like, okay, this is a unique. This is not saying unique, because other companies are doing it, but this is a Hot Toys thing. It's like, okay, well, we'll probably come out with four artisans a quarter, and now we're in the realm of what we now the artisans now, because I got artisans over in the corner right over there in the boxes, and we're six in, 7 in.
There you go.
In, and that's like literally an artisan a month almost. So I think they need to slow back. A little bit. If they would really want to do artisan line, something that really would kind of go against the grain a little bit. If they did the damn She-Hulk, that was artisan. That's perfect. Perfect example for a figure with hair. They could have done that with. But I think they need to really need to slow down. Other competition is out there. They're putting their figures out there, and it's putting people in a position where if they spaced it out, you can almost have everything if they spaced it out. But if you got an N-Art here, and then you got a Hot Toys here, and one come out literally one after the next, a lot of people are gonna miss out. And they're gonna have to make hard choices, because these things are not cheap.
Think about what Superman.
I tell you what,
Superman. You had to make your mind up almost kind of between our.
I made up my mind. I didn't buy pre-order either one.
Well, yes, but I'm just saying they put both of theirs out within one day of each other, and it was like.
Well, but there's a reason. It's not that I don't want it. I want that Superman. I think that there's going to be more. And I don't think I think InArt has an opportunity where they could put out even another one too, not just Hot Toys. And I know they don't typically do that. I just think that this movie offers an opportunity where they could, if they wanted to work on it off on the side and didn't say anything.
We just need more than man from the movie. We need at least a Mr. Terrific to go with Super.
Well, and here's the other thing. I really can't wait for that Age of Apocalypse Wolverine, but I feel like that they purposely put the carriage before the horse, because you can't tell me they're not going to do other Wolverines, as well, and maybe even ones that are more sought after than that version.
Yeah, they could do. We were talking maybe like they did too many of the I think a little bit with like that Scarlet. Or not Scarlet, with Black Widow, but like I think they could, because Artisan, I think the highest number they should do is like 4,000 for a figure, and even that I think is pushing it. I think they should be 2,000 to 3,000. Like I think that's the sweet spot for those figures.
I like that too. The 4,000 is what they do. Yeah.
That seems.
But
like
they gave 6,000 with her, but one of them was because it was missing a stupid piece, which I don't care about.
Yeah, I mean. It's
6,000. Let's be honest.
But we'll have to see how many waitlist conversions after those come out are there going to be or something. But I think like brown suit Wolverine, like they do brown suit, they could do that guy 4,000. I still think that guy was like that one. I think they need to be a little bit more selective of versions of characters they're going to do. Like for Leia, I think everybody wants to see a Leia at some point, Artisan. Now, what would be the version most like I think they could easily sell out of, and where it might even be a like waitlist in 15, 20 minutes? Probably the one that would do that, but it might be also one of the little bit more difficult ones with just a hairstyle. I'd say A New Hope. I think A New Hope Leia would be the one.
Well, and I think they would do the buns there, like the way Eamon was talking about with the Queen Amidala. Yeah.
So I think
they're going to put the gel in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that would be just tremendous
in that particular look, and I think she would be so. Now, but if you were talking about other versions, like I don't know, if they did the Return of the Jedi Ewok Village Leia, if they were going to, for some reason, they were going to do an Artisan version that her
the prisoner Leia Lane.
Yeah, well,
I know. That's what you're going to tell me.
That's not happening. That's not going to happen.
Trust me, that version, if they made it limited, whether it was sculpted or thing, would probably sell out pretty fast. I'm not, blind, but I'm just saying, like, for those two versions, what in general we think they could do if they did 4,000 of the Ewok Village. I don't think that one would be the best decision to do that.
Listen, all I'm going to say, you guys saw everything I talked about today. If you go check out, with this live show, if you go check out 6scalecantina.com or you join my channel and check out the video today, you're going to realize that this may be the case when it comes to the Dark Jedi.
They call him
character.
The Wizard.
But gentlemen, this is about all I got. Oh wow, we went 2 hours and 40 minutes. I do want to thank Brother Cousins for jumping on, and I think he had to jump off, but I appreciate you guys staying on a little late with me. But always a pleasure to have on you, second brother, and yourself as well, Lane.
It's always a pleasure, sir.
Appreciate it.
Without further ado, I don't always see. I finished all the damn wizard juice, so and now I'm almost done with all the spotchka, and I don't always finish all of this stuff, but when I do it right here at the 6 Scale Cantina. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.
Thank you, everybody.